A mass serial killer turns a horror-themed amusement park into his own personal playground, terrorizing a group of friends while the rest of the patrons believe that it's all part of the show. So pay for your ticket, we've got a virgin to sacrifice.
You're good at Camp Blood, ain't you?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
I'm gonna come back again.
All out of bubblegum.
Start again first.
Replacement call is coming from inside the house.
All right. What do you give for that? All right. Welcome to a new episode of Slashers and Screamers. We are a slasher sports production. I am one of your many co-hosts, Billy Graves, and I want to go ahead and introduce my other co-host. First of all, he needs no introduction. What he needs is a conclusion. He is the Godfather of Droll James.
What'd you say? Is that me? My bad, Bill.
I quit.
Things going over here that drive a real man insane.
Well, just what in the hell do you mean by that?
Trying to figure out what's for supper.
Okay.
Did you introduce me?
I introduced you. Your name is James.
Really? You gonna mess
yeah.
me up? I'm here, Bill.
Okay, well,
Crazy
welcome.
Tacos.
Taco Bell or the good shit?
Taco Bell.
You rat bastard. All right, he's been voted one of the finest minds in Tennessee, which is a lot like saying, you know, he's one of the 10 best dressed in Russia. He is the Memphis Menace. Rick!
What's up, man?
Oh, you puny-faced little fuck.
I don't even think I'm the best dressed in Russia, honestly.
Well, you could have been the, top 10.
True. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, Russian models are just otherworldly. You ever seen them?
They are.
I'm talking ice cold, man.
Yeah.
I can't name any of them, but they're all hammers.
Are we recording?
We're recording, James, and our final co-host reminds us all that the best things in life are free, which explains why we have ads on this show. She is final girl, Casey.
I love a deal.
Casey, just listen. Get me out of this mess.
I went and picked up a free donkey this weekend, Bill.
Real talk, James. No cap.
What?
For real?
Yeah. I sent you a picture of it.
That was yours? I thought you just sent me like a
That's
Google
right.
image.
I only gonna send you just a anonymous donkey photo.
James, don't act like you haven't sent me the most random shit. Every day that we have owned this type of technology.
An anonymous donkey.
An anonymous. Well, no, this one isn't anonymous. His name's Ralph.
His name's Cookie. Her name's Cookie.
Okay. And what are you going to do with this donkey, James?
I'm going to ride it to your house, Bill.
Please.
I'm going to load it up with supplies and go hunting for Bigfoot. That donkey can get in places that a horse can't.
Well, you know what, guys? Real talk. This is, this is hillbilly Billy talking right here. A donkey is like the literal best guardian for your livestock that you'll ever find. Better than any sheepdog, better than any pack of German shepherds. A donkey will fuck up literally any predator that comes onto your farm.
They're going to have a donkey and bee farm. Bee donkey farm. Bee donkey donk farm.
Oh, God.
Bee donkey farm.
Can we just start this whole thing over, please?
No.
The bee donkey donk farm. Well, guys, we
specializing in honey and sweet ass.
Honey and Sweet Ass.
And I'm the owner, James Brown.
Yeah. Okay, let me get recentered here. Where,
Yeah, you
okay,
better do
so
something.
I have to. Just whatever gets us off of this. The Bee Donkey Donk Farm and Sweet Ass. Honey and Sweet Ass. Guys, we had to make
I
a
also
little pivot.
told my daughter about this podcast. You know,
Oh.
she's a fan from the baseball days.
Oh, poor girl. What's she got to say about it?
I don't know. She said she was going to listen to it, but she hadn't told me anything yet.
That means she's not going to listen, James. You know what she ought to do? She ought to share it with all those friends of hers up in Kentucky. And we'll be running 2 states deep, man. Only 48 to go.
She probably will, Bill. She probably will.
I don't think so. My kids don't even listen. Your daughter's not going to listen. But you know what?
Stuff like this.
Well, maybe, but you know, so do mine, and you know, here we are. I can't get them to do shit. But guys, we had to do a little pivot. All right, we originally said that we were going to watch Beware Children at Play. I think I got the name right that time. Iconic movie for a couple of different reasons. One being so poorly made, so poor that it's awesome, but the end scene, I don't even want to spoil it. We're not going to cover it on this podcast, but I say, hey, check out the Parent's Guide, which I hate that they call it that because I'm a grown man and I look for things on the Parent's Guide that I just don't want to see. But look on the Parent's Guide on IMDb for Beware Children at Play, and if it is something that you are cool with, go ahead and check it out. The ending of this movie is ridiculously over the top. But our pivot, if you've got Netflix, you've got access to the movie Hellfest. Hellfest. How can we really describe this movie, guys? I mean, it's amusement park horror. It's a slasher film, right?
I didn't know what was going on this whole entire time.
James.
Who was the man in that peanut head mask?
Well, you know...
And why are there other peanut head masks?
Okay, I've got the same question. Like,
Because
first of all...
Where do you just find a peanut head mask?
Well, he didn't work at this park. You know what? No, we're going to get into this later. We're going to get into this later. James, don't spoil anything. First, we got to get Rick's breakdown,
I ain't
man.
spoiled nothing but his peanut head.
Okay, well, maybe that was a
Look like
pivotal
one of
part.
those, boiled peanuts, Cajun style. You get in a gas station.
Okay.
Soggy peanut.
Okay, yeah, so he had a soggy peanut mask. And, so Rick, tell us about what it took to get this soggy peanut mask on film. Give us the breakdown.
We also need to talk about He-Man, Bill, because that's a pretty good show.
We're not going to talk about He-Man. We're not talking about He-Man.
I binge watched it on Saturday morning like a little kid eating cereal.
James,
I got a big
you
old
probably
box
eat
of
cereal anyway.
And I sit down and watched He-Man for at least 3 hours.
And we can't get him to watch any other goddamn movie we watch on this podcast. But he's going to watch He-Man for 3 hours on a Saturday. Rick, give us the breakdown.
All right, so into that segue, we did Hellfest. It came out on September 28, 2018. Its budget was $5 million. It did the box office around $18.2 million. It was actually filmed in, sorry, I had it here, in Atlanta, Georgia, and Six Flags Whitewater. I guess that's a water park there. February 18th, 2018 to April 13th, 2018. It is obviously a slasher horror, rated R. Some of the people that are in it, the director is Gregory Plotkin. He's done the movie Get Out. He's done Happy Death Day. He's done Game Night. He's done over 50 films. He's done a lot of the films within the Paranormal Activity franchise. Some of the notable people in this are Tony Todd. He's been in the remake of Night of the Living Dead. He played Ben. He was in Platoon. He played Candyman. He's been in a lot of stuff. Some of the other actors and actresses, a lady named Amy Forsyth is her name. She plays Natalie. She was in kind of TV stuff, Hulu series. She was in a sci-fi horror anthology called Channel Zero. Some cheap horror films, A Christmas Horror Story, We Summon the Darkness, so kind of just not well-known stuff. Reagan Edwards, who plays Brooke, she was best known for her role in the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful. That's literally all I could find. Yeah.
How do you get this girl with like such a horror resume? Not that any of it was through the roof, but I mean, she has a horror resume. And then you pull fucking The Bold and the Beautiful out of your ass.
Yeah,
that's bananas.
I don't know. Yeah. Bex Taylor Klaus is her name. She was Taylor Ann Smith in the film. She was best known, I could find, there's a drama series called The Killing, and she was in a superhero series called Arrow. She was on the horror series Scream, and she plays the voice of Katie Holt on the Netflix animated series Voltron Legacy Defender. And then that's pretty much it. All the other people, I couldn't really find a lot of stuff they were in. So,
Well, it's a nice little seg from He-Man to Voltron. James is awake.
so there you go.
Well, what about those Rotten Tomatoes, Casey? What are the critics bitching about this week?
And nobody knows what this is. That's Bold and the Beautiful.
Casey, you may be muted.
You know what? I was.
I love it when a plan comes together. That's
So-
how they say it for you.
Rotten Tomatoes had 39% critics and 41% for viewer scores.
Harsh.
It is harsh because I thought this movie was really fun.
It was fun.
The fresh review that I selected was razor sharp with a cast of characters so likable you'll hope they all survive. Hellfest is a giddy and almost euphoric horror experience. So I thought that was good. And then a rotten review stated, while overly simplistic, Hellfest does at least feature some nuances of female friendship. So
Overly
even the bad
simplistic
ones
sounds
not
so underhanded.
But this movie was fun. And I will say, I don't remember this movie coming out in theaters because it looks, straight up my alley. I feel like I would have seen this movie had I known about it.
Agreed. I knew nothing about it
No.
until I saw it on Netflix. I literally thought this had to be a 2021 release because why have I not heard of it?
I thought
Now,
when we were doing this, I thought it was just like a Netflix film, like just on the streaming service.
Right. I kind of thought that as well because, it looks like something they would release. But no, this thing's been out for a few years, about 3 years almost, and it just went completely under my radar.
Same.
But, I don't really frequent the movie theaters, maybe like I should. In this environment, maybe I'm, better suited to not do that. But still, I feel like I would have known about it. James, did you already hear about this one?
Yes, I did.
You lying sack of shit, James. I knew you were going to say yes, just to be
It's
different.
been on my radar for years. 3 to be exact.
Good God. Okay, guys, listen. You know how we came upon this movie. We said we were going to do one, and then we did another. But in order to make that happen, we had to decide what we were going to do. And the way we decide what we're going to do is we get down and dirty on Crack the Case. Now, Crack the Case is a party game for multiple people. We do modify the rules a little bit, but the gist is I read a case, our 3 investigators try to discover what happened in the case, and they can ask the moderator, moi, any question that would result in a yes or no question, or a yes or no answer. Now, of course, James is going to complain later that there may be a yes and no or an irrelevant answer or a rephrase your question, but this is basically like headbands. And we're going to get after it right now and decide what we are watching this week for next week's episode. So, best of luck to our investigators. The case is as follows.
Pretty sure them rules have been tampered with several times.
James, these rules have been the same since 1992. The name of this case is A Fast Kill. Swami Morishi was on a hunger strike until his follower... I knew it was coming, James. Couldn't get through the first sentence.
Swami.
You don't know any Swamis. Okay,
Swami
Swami Morishi was on a hunger strike until his followers could raise $2 million to pay off the mortgage on their cult compound. Even into the 3rd week of his fast, the Swami kept to his routine. He would meditate in the mornings, then meet privately with Michelle, his second in command, to work on any business. He would then teach in the afternoons, and in the evenings tour the compound. One night, right after his tour of the kitchen, the Swami collapsed. Michelle was called from her cabin and rushed to the scene. By the time the ambulance arrived, the Swami was already dead. Michelle took over the cult leadership until a week later when she was arrested for attempted murder. The Swami had been poisoned with cyanide. How did Michelle poison a man who had sworn not to eat anything?
Swami.
Casey, let's start with you this week.
This seems too easy. Did she put cyanide in a liquid that he consumed, like water?
What the fuck? Investigators must discover that instead of reviving the Swami, Michelle was killing him with poison smelling salts containing cyanide. Fuck this shit.
Smelling salts aren't water.
Well, I mean, that's what she used, though. She used cyanide. That was the key. You said cyanide, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what she used. So you
You
won.
said cyanide at the first of it.
Damn, I was gonna say what is David Koresh, but
These rules have been tampered with along with these answers.
that was quick.
You said cyanide. You read that in the damn thing.
Yeah, but you... Okay, so what did Casey say? What was your answer,
Casey said that she gave him water with cyanide in it.
Casey, what was your verbatim question?
Let me think. I'm not going to be able to say it exactly over. I guess you could
I
go back
need
and
you to
listen
say it
to
exactly.
You said this seems too obvious. Did she give him water? Did she give him water with cyanide in it? Because you already said cyanide.
Yeah, I
And you're
said, did
like-
she give it to him in a liquid he consumed?
You're like, what the frick? Smelling salts.
Well, yeah. When she was pretending to give him the smelling salt, she put the water.
Ain't no water in smelling salts.
She was pretending to give him smelling salts. Okay, here's the whole story. Driven by ambition, Michelle wanted to take over the cult. She knew that Rusty Marishi, otherwise known as the Swami, would sooner or later faint from hunger. When that finally happened, Michelle was ready. When she heard of his collapse, Michelle took a vial of liquid smelling salts and dropped in a cyanide pellet. When she pretended to revive him, she was really sticking the vial under his nose and making him inhale the fatal liquid.
Yeah.
What will we watch next week?
James, you sound so excited.
Well,
This is
James,
new.
you know what? You got no reason to be upset here because we made no wager that if you won this one, I get to be moderator forever, which is really what your end game is, you rat bastard.
Yeah, it is. That's the only reason I play this damn game, to get
Well,
the
that's
upper hand. But if you're going to yell out the answers after somebody says one question, that's all I get a chance.
Well, you know, tell me what I could have continued with, James. How could I have continued taking questions after that was said? Because as soon as somebody says, oh, this is what happens, James jumps in and says, well, hey, that's what was said from the beginning. So I can't really make you happy, can I, James?
Well, you said that they used cyanide to kill him.
Well, yes, but
We're
the
supposed to
operative
figure out
part here
how-
was the liquid.
We were supposed to figure out how they killed him if he couldn't eat anything.
Right, and it was via the liquid.
It's very vague.
Okay, so a very vague answer, but tell me this. How could I have been exact?
I want to know what the hints were.
I can give you the hints right now. The first clue was the Swami followed a deadly routine. The second clue is in some cases the cure is worse than the disease. Those are two shitty clues.
Those are horrible clues.
Yeah.
They're always horrible clues.
They're not always horrible clues just because you don't get the double entendre.
Last week
What?
the clues were great and we still fucking lost.
That's true. It's true. Well, you know, last week though, James was like, "Oh, she got picked up by a tornado." When you know he was on the right path, but he had the wrong character in the movie in the book, and they cried foul over
I
that
didn't get a
too.
chance to use my steel trap as a mine this tonight.
Yeah, it does take a minute to warm that thing up, doesn't it? Well, Casey, I'm really happy for you to have gotten this one. And I'm dying to know which movie we're going to watch next week. Are you going to sit on it?
Yes.
You're going to sit on it, or you're going to tell us now?
No, I can't hold on to it. I can't. I'm so excited.
Benjamin Button. Strange Tales of Benjamin Button.
I don't think that was really a horror movie.
I don't know. I'd be scared to have it happen to me.
It was mostly sad. We're going to be watching the 1976 version of Carrie next.
Holy guacamole. So we're not
It
going
is
to be watching old
available.
Chloe Moretz, huh?
No, not that one. You can watch it on Hulu or Amazon Prime Video.
Boom. 76 Carrie. Pretty excited about that one. That's been a...
Me too.
Yeah, that's a favorite, and I haven't seen that one as recently as I've seen the Chloe Moretz version, which is kind of a crime. Now, I don't want to say anything bad about Chloe Moretz, because I thought she did a pretty good job there. It was well
Her
done.
and Julia Moore.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Julianne Moore is always good, first of all.
Forever and always.
But you know, Chloe Moretz, being as young as she is, hasn't always... She's kind of been an over actor at times. But in this one, I thought she did pretty good. Maybe I was a little more... I don't know, drawn to this movie. Maybe I forgave a few things, but I liked the newer version. But the old version, there's nothing like it. Sissy Spacek is a goddess. I can already tell you right now, she's a fucking hammer. And I'm looking forward to it. Really good pick, Casey.
Thank you. It is based on my favorite book.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's based on a true story.
We don't know.
So what are we watching?
Carrie.
The Land Before Time.
Oh, I wish we were watching Land Before Time.
What's that platypus's name? Petrie. He's Petrie.
He's a pterodactyl. He's not a platypus at all.
Oh my God.
Wow.
All right. Well,
there we have it.
Done. Let's get into it.
So, James, we're watching Carrie. I will probably have to tandem watch that one so I can make sure you watch it. But, we can move on to Hellfest now. And I'm glad because...
Casey, tell them where it's available at.
I already did, ho.
She definitely...
Where? I'm not a girl.
Anyone can be a hoe, Rick.
Listen, anyone at all.
And it's on Hulu and Amazon Prime.
All right, I got it on DVD, so I'm good.
Then what?
Swear to God.
Why did you have that rattle in your throat just now, Rick? Did you get scared?
I was trying to be like somebody.
Yeah, I know.
I got it
Can't
on
say that though. You don't have Carrie on Blu-ray.
I don't even own a Blu-ray, James.
I got it
think
on
he does own
VHS, Bill.
Now I believe that. I totally believe that. But guys, let's jump into Hellfest now. All right. This movie I thought was really fun because apartments, amusement parks are such a good setting for a horror film. Are they not?
I thought this movie was a fucking blast. I love amusement parks. I love any kind of theme, ride, like anywhere you can go and there are rides, even those weird parking lot ones. I live for an amusement park. So I thought this movie, like just the concept when you announced it, was so excited.
James, we haven't been to an amusement park together, have we?
Yeah, we went to Opryland.
Okay, so you just kind of dated that a little bit. Guys, if you're not from around the Tennessee area, Opryland has not been functional since the early 90s. So that should put a timeline on the last time we went
97.
to 97. Okay.
I was going to say, I was old enough to go there and ride stuff.
Okay. I'm, 5 years off. Mid to late 90s, has not been operational for a very long time. It is now a mall, if you're unaware. So yeah, let's just say that we've not been in a really long time. But they always used to have the really fun Halloween setup every year. And I guess, Six Flags. The local Six Flags to us would be what? Kentucky Kingdom in Louisville?
Kentucky Kingdom is no longer part of the Six Flags branding.
Oh.
They're their own thing.
So
when they reopened, they went bankrupt in 2008, and when they reopened, they were separate from the Kentucky
Kingdom.
Got
her legs cut off on that ride, and they got
that was in 2007.
Yeah, so it was on that sudden drop ride, right? The one where it just takes you up and then drops you at a free fall.
And that wire snapped, and then goodbye.
Gosh.
She actually lost both feet, but one of them was able to be reattached.
That is gruesome.
So anyway, Atlanta would be the closest one to us.
Okay, the nearest Six Flags, but I'm sure Kentucky Kingdom still does Halloween thing. And then you've got
amusement park is, Bill.
And then we have Holiday World. Where are you at, James? Are you back in the woods, leaving your microphone on the porch?
Flashing Safari.
So, Holiday World would probably be the next closest. It is in Santa Claus, Indiana. What, James?
Do I sound better now?
A little better.
I think you sound great. Holiday World would actually be closer to us than Atlanta.
Around in the background?
No, I do not. What did you say about Holiday World, Casey?
It would be closer than Atlanta. Holiday World's only about 3 hours from here, and Atlanta's a little further because it's past Chattanooga.
Yeah, so I guess Holiday World is kind of on the thin part of Kentucky, so it is about 3 hours, if not a little less for me being right on the top of the state in Tennessee. But yeah, I've been there and I've been to Kentucky Kingdom. I've never been to Atlanta, but they always have the best Halloween festivities. And this film is just, right up that alley. But, this movie wastes little to no time getting down to business, okay? During the opening credits, we've got a dude stabbing gals up in the attraction. I mean, he's creepy as fuck. He's got the hoodie, some kind of devil-type mask. Like, on the creep meter, where do we rate this look?
It's not like the creepiest look to me. That was my one, I've got this in my notes, that my one complaint was that I didn't think he was scary looking.
Just
The
a dude in
mask
a
was
mask.
fine. Yeah, the mask was fine, but it wasn't anything crazy.
You look like a boiled peanut.
You did say that, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And you know, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. A boiled peanut. I mean, it
Well, and
literally
I
is
know-
just a face.
Yeah, and even Gregory Plotkin, the director, he did film editing for what's that movie called? Happy Death Day, and that's one of the creepiest masks I've seen in recent years.
Happy Death Day.
The one with the weird baby mask. It's unsettling. I don't like it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, again, the fact that it's just a dude in a mask. Maybe the simplicity of it, I mean, that could be what the critic was talking about when they said it was overly simplistic or something like that, right? That was one of the Rotten Tomatoes reviews.
Yep.
I mean, maybe that's what they're looking at. I mean, I did feel like the movie was a straightforward slasher flick, and that's why I picked it. But maybe the killer could have used a little bit more pageantry.
Yeah, I thought his mask game was pretty weak.
Now, at the beginning, in the opening credits, we see like that devil mask, right? And then later on, we see the boiled peanut.
Yeah.
Am I mistaken?
No, you're right.
No.
Okay. So, I mean, he's already got his first victim. And, like, according to her reactions, he's supposed to be a part of the attraction. Because, like, she's like, ugh, another scare. Like, am I understanding that right? I mean, maybe he's not supposed to be part of the attraction, but I mean, we know this is a Halloween type attraction. Now, most of these amusement parks have some sort of haunted house or a maze or something like that. Where are you guys on those?
So I went to Kentucky Kingdom back when it was Six Flags during Halloween one year, and my friend and I went through a haunted house. But then I've also been to Universal when they do Halloween Horror Night. And that's where it's set up with, like, that's to me more like what this movie was. It's got like 10 different haunted houses, and in between there are people running around. Like, they had fake chainsaws, and they're trying to run up and scare you. And that was more of what this movie reminded me of, that there were just loose people that worked for the park trying to scare people going from ride to ride.
Just out in the open. I love that, though. And the Six Flags was kind of like that. Now, the time that I went, okay, I guess for clarity's sake, I used to work for a computer company that's based here it was based here in Middle Tennessee. And the company picnics would always be held at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom. Well, we would take that in probably July.
How's bragging camp going?
I can't tell any kind of goddamn story without it being bragging.
Continue.
So I would go to the company picnic in July, and then we would get our bounce back passes, and I would wait until my older son's birthday in October, and we would go back to Six Flags and spend kind of a birthday / Halloween type of situation. And that was always kind of I don't want to say it was our Christmas, but if I could do it, I would totally transform my home's Christmas into a Halloween. Like, we're doing gifts and stuff on Halloween. We're not doing it at Christmas. But I'm totally 3 thumbs up on amusement park haunted houses. And I really like the setup in the movie. I like the setup of the one that you were talking about, Casey, where you're just out in the open and you have your paid performers to, just scare people randomly. I like that whole vibe.
You know my stance on those type places, Bill. I don't go there.
James is a large man, but James is also a jumpy man. And yeah, I see James never going to those types.
James gets a little wild when he gets into a tight spot.
That steel trap of a mind, always trying to find an escape.
Yes, I will run through anything.
So, our killer's got his first victim. A somewhat tall but thin brunette lady, a goer of haunted houses, right in the gut with a knife, and leaves her hanging from a hook in the middle of the attraction, like as if she's a prop, and likely to never be noticed until she starts smelling bad. I like this concept because right off the bat it kind of tells you that no matter what's going on, no matter how horrific it gets, it's gonna look normal in this scenario. And that to me kind of makes me uneasy, knowing that no matter how I fight it, no matter how over dramatic I behave, nobody's gonna buy it because that is the norm for what's going on here.
You know what this reminds me of, Bill?
Tell me.
All this mask and jumpy talk. There was one time there was this little boy, little brown-headed boy. spend the night at my house. He thought he was gonna be cool. Put a gorilla mask on, hide under my bed, jump out and try to scare me. Little did he know, I was the king of the honky tonk stomp. When he stuck his head out from under that bed, with that old gorilla mask on, I just stomped him in the head. So that's what happens when I get scared. Sometimes I turn to violent.
And that little boy grew up to be me.
How's your head?
Flat. I think we've told this story before, James, but it never gets old. Not to me, anyway.
We ain't never told this story before on here.
You
Casey, Rick.
You have.
All right.
But this opening,
Not in those
when
words,
he
though.
stabs her. Well,
Go
no.
ahead, Casey.
This opening when he stabs her, the opening credits are still rolling while he does
yeah.
this. Like, there's no time wasted whatsoever.
How do you feel about opening credits, like giving all the the cast and crew in those first minutes? I sometimes feel like that hurts the film.
It's distracting from the actual content that it's giving me. I can only pay attention to one thing at once.
I didn't really like how they did it, honestly. I wish they would have done it a little differently, but I didn't make the movie.
I mean, I get wanting your credit, but I feel like the closing credits are really where that needs to be left. Because, again, I could have felt a completely different way seeing this in the opening, like a cold open, right? Without the credit.
Rick, did you say you didn't like it?
Yeah, I just didn't like how they did the opening credits. I wish they would have, shown those credits at the end, or just show them walking through the park and then start with the girl running through to the end.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So it's just the credits you don't like, or not the entire scene.
Because it was distracting, because I was reading the names and I was like, okay, all this stuff's going on. I can't really see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I did like the humming Pop Goes the Weasel. That was creepy in a way that I very much enjoyed.
I didn't even realize he was humming that until you said that.
He does it multiple times throughout the movie, and it's very fun.
Mm-hmm. All through the movie. And what's crazy about that is I also, Rick, did not know, but I was watching with subtitles on in case I couldn't hear something.
No, I knew he was humming, but I didn't know what song it was. I had no clue. I didn't know.
Well, my subtitles said humming Pop Goes the Weasel, and I'm listening, and I do not hear Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yeah.
Well,
but,
my TV's cranked up to 1 million.
Oh, of course. Of course. And if anyone you love is hard of hearing, never mind. I'm not going to do that commercial yet. Well,
what about if we're affected by mesothelioma?
Get this free booklet.
Well, he left the body, on that hook. And like I mentioned, she wasn't going to be noticed until she started smelling bad. And, that kind of fits my theory about visitors, too. Like, whenever I have visitors staying, I'll hide a dead body somewhere. So, when it starts stinking, that means the visitor's been stinking, Time for him to go. But much like in a previous film we've discussed, The Descent, we've got a girls' reunion here, okay? So, the long time no see type stuff, right? And who do we have here? We've got Natalie, who is, I guess you could say, our main protagonist.
I'd say that.
We got Brooke, who's got the bangs, and we've got Taylor, who's got the short hair. I am, especially when the guys come into the picture, I'm a little bit forgetful with the names this time around.
Yeah, I totally...
We got some real bro names, Rick.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, there's no Bill, there's no James, there's no Rick. We've got Asher, Quinn, and Gavin. But apparently Natalie isn't too ecstatic about Taylor being. And, of course, to make it worse, Brooks already told Taylor about Natalie's desire to take mutual friend Gavin to downtown Pound Town. Okay, that's a friendship red flag to me, first of all. All right, this may be me being like the uber private person that I am, but James, if you were telling rando people stuff about me and then later I'm pulled onto the carpet about it, we'd be engaging in fisticuffs, man.
Well, I don't do that type of stuff, Bill.
I know you don't, man. That's why this thing has lasted.
Yeah, I didn't get that either, Billy. I was like, why is she telling everybody her business?
Oh, yeah.
I definitely know people like that, though.
We definitely know people.
Well, yeah.
None of them are my best friends.
No.
But
right.
I think it's especially offensive in this case because it seems as though Natalie has made it known previously that she's not a big fan of Taylor. So for my best friend to go tell someone that I don't like things about me is so much worse.
Yeah, James, don't be telling somebody I don't like stuff either. But you know, this movie or this this amusement park where they're going, I guess Gavin's got the tickets, right? I mean, he's he's the plug. Well, this
VIPs.
attraction is called Hellfest, just like the movie, by the way. So I don't want to keep saying the attraction like I've been saying. But we've already touched on it, but God, how fun does Hellfest look?
Pretty fun.
Not very fun.
Not for you.
I don't enjoy that type of thing.
Can't go stomping people you don't know.
Don't go stomping people you do know either, James. But you know, I found myself almost, I don't want to say fantasizing. What's the word I'm looking for? Just like looking forward to October for, you know, to be able to do things like this. I mean, it's going to be difficult because of, you know, COVID and things like that. But Hellfest looks so fun. What do you got, James?
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
I can't wait for haunted houses to open up
Well,
again, though. Watching this movie, I felt the same.
Would be a good time for the public service announcement.
Momentarily. Haunted houses, Casey. This is the thing that I've not done in like 3 years.
It's
And
August.
By the time haunted houses roll around, I will be freed up in the night times, and that means I am making my appearance again. I am down for haunted houses in 2021. James, hit the PSA.
Bill, there could be a Bigfoot in the woods near you. There could be a Bigfoot in the woods near all of y'all.
It's time, y'all.
I just need y'all to know that.
There could be.
By the way,
Would you go to a
James,
Bigfoot themed
And the
haunted
millions
house?
of listeners at home.
Millions.
There could be a Bigfoot peeping in your window right now.
James,
James,
by the way,
would
it
you
is
or
August.
would you not?
Oh, go ahead, Casey. Sorry.
Would you or would you not attend a Bigfoot themed haunted house attraction?
No.
No exceptions.
Like that's not even like this is not a fandom from James. Like the Bigfoot thing is not a fandom. It is very much a deep-rooted fear. So putting
James, let
him
me say, it is August, but Dollar General put out Halloween candy today. So
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Ooh.
dead serious.
Well, that's kind of strange.
Also, I should point out it's July. I don't know what you guys are.
Yeah, we still got a few days left. My vacation is not over.
It's the end of July. You still ain't
Yep.
got the t-shirts, Bill?
Yeah.
And you never
My
will.
mistake.
My
Wow.
birthday was June 25th. Let me tell you, a week before James's birthday, he's at my house watching a wrestling pay-per-view, and I surprise him with cake, food, and a cameo from Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner.
I already knew there was going to be food there. You didn't surprise me with no food.
Just shit on it, James. Just shit on
And you
it.
did say, "What's your favorite cake?"
Did I say it like that, James?
Yep, just like that.
So this is an
think-
indoor-outdoor
If
giant
anybody wants to know
costume
what my
party.
favorite cake
God
is,
damn it.
it's carrot cake.
Carrot cake
Yeah.
is good.
The carrot cake is good, but who the fuck wants it for a birthday cake?
Listen here,
Sounds
Bill.
good.
Carrot cake's good.
Not for a birthday cake.
Thank you.
I would eat that for a
Well,
birthday cake.
when would y'all sophisticates eat carrot cake? It's not.
Never.
I would eat
You're
carrot
right.
cake at any time, including my birthday.
Well, at any time, yes. And if it's, if it is already there on my birthday, then I will eat it. I will consume it happily. But if the carrot cake is what has the candles on it when you fuckers are singing happy birthday,
I've got another important question.
then I will show my carrot and walk out.
Who likes macaroni and tomatoes?
Okay, we're not getting into this, James. James and I had dinner today at this country diner in Hendersonville, Tennessee, called Ruby's. We love you. And
Ruby's is so good, dude.
Ruby's is fantastic. And James got macaroni and tomatoes, and about halfway through the drive home, he's talking about how good these macaroni and tomatoes are. So I guess if you go to Ruby's, get the macaroni and tomatoes if you like such a horrendous thing.
And the spinach, what was it called, Bill?
Spinach casserole.
Spinach casserole.
It looks like somebody
Everything
chewed up
got
spinach
dipped.
and spit it into a bowl.
I really think
Okay.
I got gypped on some topping.
You can't
because
say
Okay,
it had
that.
Popeye.
crackers or something on top of it, huh?
I
Listen.
said, okay, Popeye.
Show them the arms, James. All right, listen. This is an indoor-outdoor giant costume party with people in their most horrific costumes, giving you the scare of their life. Hellfest is amazing. There are attractions, haunted house type situations, but like there's an open area, like we talked about, Casey, where it's just anything goes. And I'm fucking loving it. I want this so much for, nearby. I think there is something in Hendersonville coming up that's going to be something like that. The haunted, what is it? The Haunted Woods? Is that's outdoor, right?
Death Valley?
Yeah, Death Valley. There you go.
Haunted Woods?
Yeah, Death
That's been
Valley Haunted
closed
Woods,
for
Hendersonville.
years.
Yeah, and it's outdoor, right? Partially.
It's closed.
Yeah, they used to have Monster Mountain, but it closed a long time ago.
Death
Monster
Valley
Mountain
and
closed
Monster
too?
Mountain are both closed.
Yeah.
God.
The guy from Death Valley was like siphoning electricity from places. He had to close everything down a few years back.
So, like, what are the nearby ones? There have to
I mean,
be
there's
nearby ones.
Slaughterhouse in Nashville.
That's all the way in Nashville.
Nashville Nightmares in Madison.
I can do that. I can do Madison.
Let's take a group trip.
And video record the whole thing. Okay.
Live podcast.
Live podcast. All right. Well, I hope you didn't think that this was going to be all like pirates and kitty cat costumes. Okay. Things get a lot darker at a rapid pace. The group goes into one of the indoor attractions, and it's like a maze type of thing with, corridors where the workers jump out from behind doors. And like Natalie's kind of being a bummer. She's calling their shots like, okay, someone's going to jump out of this door, kind of spoiling the fun for Taylor and Brooke. But, they're not making a big deal of it, but it's important to know because this is where we see a girl stumble through the door. She falls on the floor saying, he's coming, which is taken more as acting. I mean, I doubt I would do any different, right? You see that in, like, this is what I was alluding to earlier. This is the norm. This is what it's supposed to look like. And so how do you differentiate? But the girl finds a hiding spot just before our killer with the boiled peanut mask from the opening credits comes, and who we saw before, has come to Hellfest, and he's donned in his hoodie and his mask, and he walks through. Like I said, this scene fucking gutted me, though. Do you remember which scene I'm talking about?
This scene was hard to watch. Just watching it and, like, us as the audience being cognizant that this is an actual murder that she's witnessing and basically going along with, like, encouraging.
Yeah. What does she say? What's her quote? She says, just do it. Like, hurry up and get it over with.
Yeah.
Because I'm wanting to move on with my friends.
He says she was like, oh, she went through that way. She went underneath the thing, and then,
Yeah! Oh my God, that's even worse.
Yeah.
It reminded me of, I don't know if you guys or our audience is a big fan of the Scream movies, but in Scream 2, in the opening scene, they go to see Stab, a film based on more or less Scream 1's happenings, and there is a murder like this.
I have got that in my notes. Jada Pinkett.
Nuh-uh.
It is Jada Pinkett.
No, yeah, I'm saying nuh-uh because I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, the movie theater, Jada Pinkett's getting stabbed right in the middle of everybody. And they're basically cheering that on along with the movie because they're a rabid crowd, right?
Right. I'm so excited that we both had that thought.
I mean, it was one of the first things I thought of. This was like in my very first set of notes.
Same.
All because, I think Will deserves better.
Well, irrelevant, but fair.
So what's so scary about this is the fact that the kill... Paying attention, James?
Yeah, you said Will deserves better.
Yeah, we were just talking about... We were just talking about Jada Pinkett getting stabbed up in Scream 2.
So Will Smith.
Yeah, so I brought up the fact that Will Smith deserves better than Jada Pinkett and her entanglements.
Why would you say stuff like that, Bill?
You clearly haven't seen her YouTube channel.
I'm trying to work it out, Bill.
You know what? That's fair, James. That's fair. I shouldn't be so judgmental.
And if Will doesn't mind her
But I can tell that he does mind. He looks like a drained man in this interview.
Okay, let's
Anyway,
get
okay,
back
so
to...
yeah, back to the movie.
Man, I don't know.
Back to the movie. All right,
To
so
each his own, Bill.
the fact that the killer can walk freely among the actors and visitors, uninhibited. I mean, he can just kill someone in plain sight. Well, maybe he can't just kill someone in plain sight, but he can be as creepy and stalky as he wants to be, and no one's going to be any the wiser. Yes.
Well,
Is this not terrifying?
But the mask is pretty lame, honestly. I gotta say, I'm sorry. It's like a cross between the mask from the movie Sorority Row and Valentine. It's not. I was like, really?
I thought of the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh.
Just like
It looks like the mask from that movie Valentine to me in Sorority Row, the remake of that. But
I thought of Cajun boiled peanuts.
So imagine walking around in public with a crazed killer stalking you. Nothing you do will make any difference because you're walking around in a setting where your actions are perceived to be the norm. Oh, that guy,
I'll tell you what would make the difference. Me putting a boot to that dude.
But you're not going to do that because he's not stalking you, James. He's stalking the dainty brunette.
That's right. You better leave me alone.
Not the bulky bearded hillbilly.
You're
probably the stalker.
Wants trouble. I mind my own business. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, everything they're seeing is like, oh, that guy stabbed you in the back and you fell over dead in the middle of the floor. Well, that's happening behind every door we walk through. It's like when Dimitri Martin said, the worst time to have a heart attack during a game of charades.
This is a great place to go to commit a murder, though. I mean, seriously, everyone around is jumping out. There's fake knives, fake weapons. I guess this might be too serious to note, but someone got killed at a haunted house just like 3 years ago, I think. Do you guys remember this? They got stabbed.
I think go to a haunted house.
I think someone got stabbed like waiting in line. Like, I don't even think they got inside.
Well, was anybody else rooting for Natalie and Gavin to just not work out?
Yes.
You are such a hater-ass bitch.
I am not a hater. Listen, Natalie and Gavin were set up by fucking Brooke after Brooke tells everybody in the world
her business.
And that alone makes me not want it to happen. Like, let
She
Natalie,
can't help that.
let Natalie make her own moves.
They seemed happy.
Forceful. So why did the killer take the photos from the kissing booth or the the phone booth? The fucking photo booth. I can't.
Phone booth.
It's a phone booth. We're taking pictures in it. The photo booth.
Because he's stalking her, right? He's
Yeah,
obsessed
I mean,
with
he
her.
wants
She
to
looks
know
like
what
the other
they
two
look
girls.
like.
Yeah, well, he knows what she looks like, and she looks
other
like the other two girls he's already killed.
Oh, there were two, yeah.
There were.
The credits, yeah, and then the one that Natalie allowed to be killed.
Yeah, encouraged even.
Implicit, maybe? I don't know. Well, the scene with, where Brooke follows the stalker after he takes the photos, I mean, did that really do anything for the story? I mean, I guess it separates the group. Is that the only thing that we can really say for that scene?
Even when they reconnect and Natalie asks Brooke what happened when she chased the guy, is kind of a dead end. Like, I don't think it was needed. I think they could have done cooler shit than that.
I mean, I guess it took it from 82 minutes to 88 minutes, right? That's the best that we can
Yeah,
really
this
say.
movie's not long.
It's not a long movie, but I mean, that's fine with me. A good slasher does not have to be, 2 hours 20.
No, not at all. I'm just saying it's not a long movie. I don't even think it hits 90 minutes.
It doesn't, but I'm totally cool with it. I felt like at the end of the movie, 89. Wow. At the end of the movie, I felt like it. Sometimes you watch something and you feel like you want more. I guess the question is, do you leave the audience wanting more, or do you leave the audience satisfied? I was left wanting more at the end of this one. And I don't want to jump to the end of it, but I mean, how did you feel at the end of it? Did you feel like you wanted more movie or a sequel?
I was not satisfied.
See,
I feel like I wanted more.
I'd be down with a sequel to this.
I would completely be down with a sequel.
It was a strange feeling of happiness and wanting more.
Okay, yeah. See, I mean, you get it. This is the man. I think we need to notate this. I think we need to note this. This is the first time we've ever all four agreed on something.
Happy it was over.
I think we all like that too.
See what happened.
James, did you really not like this one too?
He did. I know he did.
I watched it.
Well, that's good. That's a step ahead of some weeks. But did you like it?
It was okay, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, that's pretty positive.
Hey,
That's Oscar winner for James. It was okay, and it didn't even have a wolf.
If I've got to be honest, I probably
and you
watch
do.
it.
Yeah, there's some movies you just wouldn't watch twice.
I probably would. So I was like, that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, when Gavin goes to look for a stuffed animal, to get a gift for Natalie. This
like,
is
how long does it take to look for a stuffed animal? Seriously, I was like, damn, bro.
Well, this is important though, because in order to get to Natalie, you have to take away her protection, and
right.
that shows
I get that, But I'm just saying, like, throughout the movie, they're like, where's Gavin? Oh, he went to go get a stuffed animal. Yeah, 40 minutes ago. Wouldn't you be looking for him by now?
But nobody really has self-service, and the park seems huge.
That is true. And there's a part, though, where they all separate, right? They all kind of go to this one area that can only be, arrived at by rail cart. We'll get there in a second. But, I mean, when he goes to look for this stuffed animal, the stalker he's got him cornered. He hits him in the... Does he not hit him in the throat with, like, the end of a hammer?
No, he hits him in the head.
Yeah, he crushes his skull.
Crushes his head with it.
Well, no, before that, though, I think he, like, does a spear jab at his neck first.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember what you... Yeah.
That hurt me so much more than the hammer swing.
No, the skull-crushing thing got me.
Pretty awesome.
I guess I've got an Adam's apple so big that it looks like a knee in my throat. So maybe that's just me.
So you don't want to be punched in the throat? Is that what you're suggesting to our audience?
Never. That's probably like if this were Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I would be King Hippo, and my Adam's apple would be that piece of tape over his belly button. But that's probably a dated reference. Only James is going to get it, and he probably never got that far. So the hammer swing kill. I thought this was really creative, and I think we probably need to go back to something that Casey brought up to me earlier in the week. I think we need to go back to rating these kills.
I do like this.
Yes.
I'm good with one rank. Like, slashes, screams, the differentiate confuses me, but I think we could just give this slashes out of 5.
Okay, I'm down with it. So what's the criteria? The creativity?
Creativity and all-around grossness, ways that made you flinch, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Sounds like you flinching pretty hard.
Yeah, I'll give this one a solid 3 3/4 slashes, because first of all, it looked like it hurt like hell, and it's right on brand with, the carnival / theme park situation, and not to mention the fact that when he hits his head with a hammer, he rings the bell.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would say probably I give it probably a 4 out of 5.
I'm going to say 3.5 just because there are some other murder scenes that got me pretty good in this movie.
I'm going to give it a 2, Bill, because you knew it was going to happen when he picked the hammer up.
Okay, there was no element of surprise. And the gravity of it, because we know that we're taking away Natalie's protection, that really doesn't do much for you at all. The fact that now Natalie is pretty much wide open after Gavin's dead.
Well, if he was going to be a protector, he would have stayed there and not went back for the stuffed animal, Bill.
Well, there's nothing to protect from at that point, though, so you don't really know. He's trying to get He's trying to get in that pink canoe,
You're in a haunted house, so you're going to stay close to the girl that you took there, because you might get handsy when the scares start.
You got a one-track mind, James, and I salute you for it.
Like a steel trap, Bill.
That's a fact.
I set the laser beam on something.
It gets got. Well, with Gavin away from it.
That was my laser on my steel trap of a mind.
So with Gavin dead in the locker room, the crew goes to, I keep fucking up this name. Is it Deathland, where they have to reach it by rail cart?
It's the Deadlands.
Sure.
Deadlands. Okay. Well, I mean, you have to ride a rail cart to get there, and they go without Gavin because he's missing, right? So Deadlands. I've never been to any park where it's only accessible by specific transportation. I guess back in the day there was a place up in Kentucky called Guntown Mountain where you could only get to one side by a chairlift. Anybody ever been on a chairlift?
Yeah,
I have. Terrifying.
James, where are you at on chairlifts?
I've been on a chairlift before, Bill, and it stopped in the middle of the thing.
Nightmare.
I tell you where else I've been, Bill. On this damn trolley car, and it takes you up there. Where was I at? Chattanooga Choo Choo. It takes you up to the top of the mountain, but it's like facing like straight up. You gotta ride that thing up there. Been on that. Been on chairlift. I've been on this one thing in Gatlinburg. It's like a car, but it's over like the mountains, and that thing stopped in the middle, and there's like nothing up there. There's like 10 or 12 of us in this little car. I didn't know all them people either.
Oh, he probably means like a funicular or like a
Vernacular.
Yeah.
Testicular.
No, I swear that's what it's called. I'm about to look it up.
I would
Hold on.
fucking die if I was in something high up and it stopped out of nowhere. I went on a chairlift last fall for the first time in my life.
What?
And horrified. I would rather go through 1 trillion haunted houses than go more than 10 feet in the air.
You must have never been skiing, Casey, or snowboarding.
Well, those
I
are.
can tell you more about my background later, but it doesn't involve the money to go skiing or snowboarding.
I've
That's what I
never
mean,
been
chairlift
skiing
is,
or
yeah.
snowboarding.
No, I don't want to go any faster than I can run, and right now that's not very fast anyway.
Same.
So tell me,
I
this,
mean, in a car, I'm good.
Well, they're not
Oh, yeah,
very
no,
fast. The thing's
No,
not-
and that's the worst
not very
part.
fast.
It takes forever. You're up there so long.
yeah, it's a slow
It's
death.
called an incline railway. My bad.
And what did you call it before?
Vernacular.
Well, you just
I don't
made
know
that
where you
word
got
up.
That shit
No,
from.
it's funicular. Funiccular.
I'm gonna have to look that up and find out just what in the hell you're mispronouncing.
I got hung at the top of a Ferris wheel one time, too.
Ugh.
James, they were just letting people on it.
I was still hung up there, Bill.
So tell me this: why do we have so many lookalikes at this
I also
park?
did this thing one time.
Oh,
They put you in this like harness and then pull you up in the air and then let you go, and it swings you back down and across like a swing.
I would
That's
throw
slingshot.
up.
Slingshot.
I done that one time.
yeah, fuck all that.
That's a hell no.
Because
No.
I'm basically trusting like $8 an hour people with my life.
Would you do a zip line? Have y'all done a zip line? Please tell
Fuck
me yes.
no.
The only zip line I'm ever doing is in the military, and that's already done because those are the professionals. I'm not letting any of these commercial people, these civilians, put me on a zip line.
I
Because
guess I'm the only one
that
on the podcast that isn't scared of heights then, because I love height stuff.
I set up a zip line one time in my backyard and put my cousin Kyle, this was when he was little bitty, and put my cousin Kyle on it and put a bunch of boxes where he could land in the boxes. He was probably 4 or 5. If he was 4 or 5, I was like 10.
And today is the 29th anniversary of Kyle's passing. I would like to say...
I was going to say, but did he die?
No, he didn't die. He landed in the boxes safe and sound.
He is a little crazy now. It's CTE. But listen, guys. Tell me, why do we have so many lookalikes at this park? The killer came into this park with a mask, with a specific mask. And he has not been a regular at this park. He's killed people at other parks. Why does he have a mask that is just
Hey,
like
you
people...
know he's not a regular.
Because he's from...
There because
Okay, but
he's
how is he
on
getting these
this
masks?
Around, Bill, so he's got to know where all this stuff's at.
Then
You
I
just
pose
don't
you the question. I pose the question,
don't
then
get
why
to
is he so
walk around.
confused later on about things that he discovers about some of the doorways? I don't want to get there yet because that's kind of giving away the
You
ending.
don't get to wander around by yourself in a place like it unless you're employed.
That's my point. He's not employed there, and
Hey, yeah.
because he walked in the entrance from the civilian entrance, not the fucking civilian entrance, the customer entrance.
Nah, I don't know about that.
I will say the part where they're on this little rail car, whatever, moving them out to, I think it is the Deadlands. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. This scene where we see her and she's facing directly square on with the camera and the ride is stopped is my favorite shot of the whole movie. The coloring is really cool. The composition is really cool. I really liked how that scene looked.
This movie's visually very nice.
Agreed.
It's dark, but it's not so dark. It's not Alien versus Predator 2 dark.
Yeah, it's not so dark that you can't see what's going on.
Right.
Yep.
I like the lighting where, yeah, there's plenty of darkness. You can watch it in your living room with the lights out, but everything you see is very visible. But the guys and girls split up at Deathville, and they've got their own separate mazes, right? And there's the hallway with the arms for the girls, and there's like that simulated train for the guys. Separating these guys, and again, Asher and Quinn are the guys left. Separating the two of them has got to be a stroke of luck for the stalker, because he's got the guys off on their own, and of course Natalie's in the no bone unturned room where she's got her little close encounter with the killer.
Creepy.
Oh gosh, very creepy. What, is she under like some kind of like hair dryer or something, or is she just looking in a mirror? I can't tell what she's doing.
I think it's a. I want to say it's like a two-way mirror. I would think maybe.
I don't think it was a mirror. I had to watch this scene a couple of times. It looked like he was on the other side of a two-way mirror, but he's actually just behind the wall where like if
What? I thought that was a two-way mirror.
I did too until I watched again. He actually reaches up and like he can touch her because she's just around the corner and she's facing that way, but her head is down, her eyes are closed, and he's right there, but he doesn't make the move for some reason. I mean, why would a restroom have a two-way mirror unless it was some kind of creep situation?
Definitely a creep situation. But yeah, no, that part where he reaches out for her, I was tense.
Most certainly. And we were really far into this flick at this point, and that's when I realized that the guys that we had were Gavin, Quinn, and Asher, the three most major bro names in the history of the world. But I think it's Asher who gets off next. And for me, I guess we have to get the ratings for this kill. The needle through the eyeball.
Man, that was brutal. A lot of gore doesn't bother me, but if it involves like sticking things in your eye,
Yeah.
I can't. A lot of stuff does
I'm
not bother me,
completely
but that
with you.
it was brutal.
I'm right there with you, Rick. I hate eyeball shit. This is so
Yeah.
nasty to me.
Yeah, I don't like the scene in was there a scene in one of the Saw movies where the guy had a key behind his eye?
I was just about to talk about that. It's the opening to Saw 2, and it is disgusting.
I don't like eyeball stuff. And yeah, the needle in the eye, solid 4 slashes from me, and it's not because of creativity didn't do it. Okay, this is not a creative kill. This is a straight up cringe kill because nobody likes for this to even like fingernails and eyeballs, man. Just don't fuck with them. 4 slashes.
I'll say 4.5 because it really got me.
Yeah, I'll say 4.5 for sure.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Well, James, why don't you lay there and let me pick at your eyeball for a little bit and see how you feel about a 2?
I ain't gonna lay there and let nobody do nothing.
He's gonna stomp you.
Fucking hold you down.
Ain't nobody holding me down, Bill. I'm like Puff Daddy.
God.
You do this to yourself, Billy.
Oh no, got to keep on moving. Bill, I'd have run through that place like a wild animal, been out the other side. And that guy, Peanut Man, been like, what was that?
Okay, but Billy, back to your earlier comment. I don't know why there were so many masks of the same type that the killer was wearing. I thought that was a little odd.
Yeah, now, there could be some situation where he's gotten a hold of this mask prior to. I mean, he may have scouted the place out.
He could have killed one of the people wearing that mask.
You know this guy's got to do some homework.
Yeah, I could see him doing homework and saying, okay, there's plenty of people using this type of mask. I'm going to get one, easily procurable, throw it on when I get here, pull the hoodie up, get to work. But, we...
I don't know, somebody better check that creaky door so I can snuck up on him.
So, Natalie is peeing in the stall. And guys, rarely seen in movies, we get the wipe also. This is a little too personal of a scene for me.
She didn't even go, dude. There was no sound.
It's funny you say that. I have here in my notes, Rick, that when she stands up, the water is crystal clear. So, we were just duped, man. Yeah. Foul on the play.
Attention to that at all. Missed that it didn't make a sound. Missed the color of the pee. Y'all are gross.
I totally spaced on the sound as well, but I didn't space in looking when she stood up and saw that the water was really clear and she was either really hydrated or she didn't go.
But we didn't tell the part where the killer took Gavin's phone.
Oh, we did forget to touch on that.
I didn't know she used the bathroom.
She did. Well, she didn't, apparently.
Well, James, you might have blacked out at that point.
Oh, she was cleaning her hair.
You thought what now?
What?
Well, there was a part where she was, messing with her hair, and that's the scene we were talking about.
She went to the stall to get away from that guy.
No, she didn't know about the guy being there.
Is this something y'all manifested? Her going?
No, James, I think you were just distraught with fear that you just said, get in the bathroom, hide in the stall.
Run to the bathroom.
But she recognized him when she was in that stall by looking at his boots. Okay, and this is a thing to me because she recognized his shoes later at an upcoming scene that we're going to talk about. And to me, those boots that he's wearing are not recognizable. There's nothing special about these boots to me.
But and two, when she was in the stall not peeing, and her phone went, or Gavin's phone went off when she texted him. Remember?
I'm madder than hell.
And it would sound closer and closer, and she was like, "What?" She was like, "What the heck?" So Gavin's phone kept on going off, but he was the one that had the phone.
And those weren't his shoes.
Yeah.
Oh. What the hell are you mad about, James?
The shoes were the only thing recognizable because he had a hole on one side with steel toes showing.
They were recognizable to us, but I don't know if anyone was stalking me if I would have noticed the shoes.
Yeah.
I think the shoes are probably one of the last things I would notice about somebody.
She looked at him. She looked at his shoes.
Yeah. I just don't know that I would have the wherewithal to remember what they look like, I guess.
And how many people could be wearing shoes like that or boots like that? Because there's nothing special about them. That's my point. It's like
a peanut mask.
But there are other peanut masks.
But
right,
then,
and
same boot with the same tear with the steel toes.
See, I didn't recognize a tear.
It's all in the details, Bill.
Steel trap.
Right.
Well, the security guard's not doing his job because, he says it's Gavin, because, of the photos on the floor. They picked up the photos and said, hey, he's been stalking us. He took these photos. Oh, it's got to be Gavin. Well, but the girls aren't really doing their job because they can easily tell the guard that Gavin never had those pictures. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he never once had them. So
I never thought that they could say that. That's right, though.
Yeah, that part was a little... I don't know if it was... I wouldn't call it a continuity thing.
It's a little bit of a plot hole.
It's a little bit of a plot hole. Thank you. Because...
It's a pothole.
Thank you. If somebody says, hey, it's Gavin because he's got the pictures, yeah, Gavin never had them. They were taken away while Gavin was in the photo booth, in the phone booth, taking pictures.
There's a pothole over going to your house today.
There were quite a few, James. So let's get to the voluntary virgin sacrifice. And this is where I've got to make an announcement. What did you say your name was, Rick? Taylor who?
She is a really weird name.
Bex. I think they go by they for their Wikipedia, but their name is Bex Taylor Klaus.
Yeah. Hammer of this movie.
I agree.
Oh,
the one with the short hair.
The one with the short hair that goes on the guillotine. Listen, all about the horror, okay? First of all, Brooke and Natalie are not really with the horror scene. Taylor is eating it up.
Taylor's about it.
She and Rowdy.
And she's having a blast, and I would love to go anywhere with Taylor.
She can have a ball, and if she gets me alone, she can have them both. And Taylor is, first and foremost, the hammer of this week. So we do congratulate you, Taylor, Bex, Santa Claus.
We do.
Let's get a quick vote from the other two. Rick James.
Yeah, I would definitely agree for sure.
She's probably a super freak. Y'all give it a 2. 2 out of 9.
But it's like a golf score, so it's really good. So, who do we have kind of emceeing this virgin sacrifice?
Tony fucking Todd.
The living legend.
Never trust a man with 2 first names.
That's a cold hard fact. I also don't trust anybody who has a city as their first name. I will never again play cards with Mississippi Bill,
Panama
Jack, or Indiana Jones. But the beheading scene. I don't want to call it a plot hole, or I don't want to call it any kind of, I don't know. It's a very big coincidence. Why the actual fuck does this park have a mannequin head with the exact same hairstyle as Taylor?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, what the hell?
Down to the collar.
They had a wig on set ready to go.
She was
ready to go.
That means, was she pre-selected then?
She was VIP.
Well, she volunteered.
True. There was a VIP ticket, and she did volunteer.
Is she so much of a horror fan that she had the wherewithal and the forethought to offer herself up as the virgin sacrifice? Maybe so. That further establishes her as the hammer of this film.
I will say, Tony Todd also did the voiceover at a theme park for Final Destination 3.
Well, his voice is so recognizable.
It's a good one.
It's a very good.
He's actually a really nice guy. I met him at a horror con before. He's actually a nice dude.
That fucking rules.
Yeah.
That makes me so mad, though. Rick, you've met some pretty cool people.
Yeah, I met Doug Bradley, Hellraiser, Pinhead, Gary motherfucking Busey, who was in Silver Bullet.
Hell, Dragon Camp going.
Probably the weirdest person I've ever met. Gary Busey was weird as hell. I've met D. Wallace, who was in E.T., Cujo. So
That
yeah,
was the lead singer of Twisted Sister.
a couple people, yeah. But by far, dude, Gary Busey is the weirdest horror icon I've ever met. He was weird as hell.
But tell me this was post vehicle accident, right?
Accident, yeah.
Yeah, this was 2008.
Yeah, so definitely post.
Yeah, most certain.
He's a huge germaphobe, and he won't shake your hand. He only fist bumps you.
I wouldn't want to shake your hand either.
Yeah, not you, Rick. I know
Dang.
where those
Not
hands have been.
anyone.
I don't know if I've met anybody famous.
James, we
Not
literally
us.
went like a couple of Januaries ago to see Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. You send me a picture of Jim Ross making that face every time you want to complain about something.
Good old JR.
Oh, man.
Man.
Yeah, I forgot about those two
Those guys were the voices of our childhoods, and we got to see them. VIP tickets.
Casey, what
Who
about
else have I seen, Bill?
That's all.
Casey, what?
who have you met that's famous?
Fucking probably no one. Trying to think. I've met a few bands and stuff, but nothing like a bunch of pop punk shit from when I was like 16. Probably nothing else though.
So this beheading scene,
That was quite spectacular.
it was spectacular.
Were you stressed
And
out?
I was very stressed out. And what I liked about this scene was the fact that the guillotine didn't work. I don't think I've ever seen a guillotine not work. There's always somebody that saves the day before the lever's pulled or the head comes off, but never to the point where it drops and just cuts barely enough into somebody's neck to leave a cut.
So, fun fact, I decided to do some guillotine research. Guillotine?
However.
Research. And apparently, a lot of times when they used to behead people, and I think France is usually where they were doing it, but a lot of times they had to behead people, they had to do it multiple times because it didn't cut all the way through.
And fun fact, France didn't stop using the guillotine until 1976.
I don't know why they ever stopped.
1976?
Yep.
That's heavy. That is so heavy. That was not long ago.
You were there. You would know.
Oh, 1977. Sorry, I was a year off.
Oh, you lying bastard.
Yeah, but that's crazy, dude. I mean, what do
But
we
yeah,
know?
so they set her up to go again. He's starting to set up and then she's gone.
Yeah, she
She's
gets
got
away
her
from
hands on the back of her neck, and you think to try and like, I don't know, get the blade to go through her hands or whatever, and then you look and she's fucking gone because she undid the restraints.
But didn't something get jammed in it? Like something was jammed. He was trying to make it work or something.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to get it like set up again, and he was having a hard time raising the blade. It looked like getting the blade set up.
That may also be it. I knew he was having some issues over there, and he looks away, and she's gone the next moment. I mean, of course, he catches
Doesn't
up to her,
last.
though. Yeah, I mean, well, we should go back and say that, like, during this virgin sacrifice, they cut off the mannequin head, and the curtains close. And the executioner takes off his mask, and we see old Peanut Head. He's there, and then he attempts to actually behead Taylor.
And Natalie's flipping her shit the entire time they're doing like the show head chopping.
Yeah, she
to a
runs
point where
up,
they
and
say they're
security's
gonna
got
have
to
to call
stop
the
her.
cops on her.
Yeah, security holds her back, and yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
and
because
I think
she recognizes
guy-
the shoes.
The security guy from earlier says something along the lines of, "Do you know how many complaints I get like this a night?" And when you think about it, like earlier when she flipped out about, the guy being in the ride and crawling on her car and all that stuff, her friends are kind of like, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?" But if I were at a haunted house with a bunch of my friends and one of them was being super annoying, I would probably be like, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
Right. Yeah.
So I can't get that mad.
Okay, yeah, fair point. Well, you said it, though. Taylor gets away.
She does.
And,
for a minute.
For a minute. But, of course, the mass killer catches Taylor, knife to the gut, also gets Quinn. I think that's Quinn. It's either
Yeah,
Quinn
it's
or
Quinn.
Asher. Okay, well, now all the guys are dead.
Asher got in the eyeball.
Asher got in the eyeball, and now Taylor's dead as well, leaving only Brooke and Natalie. Now, this is a part that is really an insult to women across the world.
Hello.
They can't drive. Oh, sorry, no. This is the actual insult to women across the world. The chase scene through the entrance to hell. The first thing that Natalie says before she goes into the entrance to the
Oh my god.
entrance to hell. I think this is an exit.
I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Because they clearly say earlier before they go to the Deadlands, they're like, yeah, you have to go to the Deadlands to get to hell, and that's the scariest part. So, obviously, hell is not an exit.
No.
These girls don't seem stupid.
No.
We don't seem to be dealing with unintelligent women, but in this moment, good God.
I think this is an exit as she runs towards an entrance that has like a devil face on it that does not resemble an exit at all. And of course, old Peanut Head follows them in. He breaks the handle to the entrance. They can't come back that way. Now, one of the very coolest things about the logic of this ending scene here, and it's not really ending scene, I guess it's an ending sequence, is the logic of the door sensors to activate each room, because that adds an extra wrinkle to the escape for Brooke and Natalie. You step across the little sensor, and all the animatronics, and not the animatronics, what am I trying to say? All the
scene.
Yeah, the scene within the room, it all activates with that laser. Natalie notices that. I think
Smart.
Yeah, very smart to notice that. But of course, I think this is an exit. Maybe that wasn't
Not
her best
smart.
moment. Yeah, but I think this changes, I guess, the suspense to everything. Having those sensors makes this, or having the logic of those sensors makes this scene probably twice as good as it could have been.
I agree. It
Yeah,
was
I
fun
agree.
because, like, I don't think any of the haunted houses I've ever been to have been like that, but now I want to look.
Well, good point. I mean, I don't. The only thing that I can remember is there would be things that would like kind of knock you in the shin, and they're on like some springs or like giant door stoppers.
Oh,
Like
I'd
you-
pee my
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah, basically you walk past one and you like pull it back as you walk, and as you get past it, it lets go and it slaps the next person in the shin, which is kind of a fucking. I mean, that's brutal to me. Makes
But
me
the
want
only
to
thing
fight
I
somebody.
remember that's like a motion sensor is like a strobe light. You know, I've never been. I mean, I'm not paid attention, but like you said, Billy, maybe they do have those laser things. I don't know.
They could be,
I mean-
they could be mixed in there. There could be some strobe lights mixed in with some laser. What am I trying to say? The lasers that activate, the things inside the room.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But they make it all the way through here, and I want to say that the killer knew they hadn't exited because of the audible cue when he opened the door at the end, and that's what makes me think that he's not familiar with everything in this park, and that raised the question of like, where did he find the masks, or how did he get the mask? If this is not a place that he works or frequents, because you would think he would be familiar with the entrance to hell. Well, at the end, he opens that door and he hears, what is it? Clever, you found the hidden exit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or clever, you found the hidden path to hell. That's the line. So he knows they haven't left because he hasn't heard that audible cue, and he knows they're hiding amongst all those mannequins.
Which
Did
is
anybody else?
creepy enough.
Oh yeah, the mannequins were nuts. All white faces, black cloaks. Yeah, I'm not with it. Not with it at all. Did anybody else notice that like all the weapons are fake except the one the killer pulls from the mannequin?
Yes.
That fire axe.
Yep.
Can you imagine the liability of having a real fire axe in a haunted house?
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
None.
It's a fun twist for this. Like, it's a fun thing here. But if you went to RIP Monster Mountain
R.I.P.
and someone yanked out of a mannequin a fire axe, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Well,
Talk about
he used
ocean
that fire axe though to slash Brooke in the leg. That slows her down.
Got her pretty good.
Got her pretty good, and Natalie gets a shot, at the killer with, the stick she was carrying, and they run to the room with all the white faced mannequins, which is, the exit that I alluded to before. And again, clever, you found the hidden path to hell. But it's still bothering me why, he has the same mask as all the people there. He doesn't know about the floor sensor, so he's clearly not somebody who's been there often, or else he'd know about that ending message. But he corners Brooke on the floor. He's got her dead to rights, but Natalie uses the floor sensors to her advantage, catches the killer off guard. As he goes across, one of the sensors, the curtains open up where there's usually going to be some kind of figure to scare the visitor. It opens up and there's Natalie. She catches him, stabs him in the gut, leaves him on the floor, seemingly dead or at least immobile. And we think that, the girls have won. They think.
But
nope.
He's gone.
They thought wrong, Bill.
The police enter and search, and they say we couldn't find it.
Which
Okay.
isn't
It was
that
gone.
the twist to every horrifying? We made it. Everything's safe. We can finally breathe again. He's
Yeah,
gone.
I know. And
I love it.
When she's sitting out there and in front, and the cop says, "Oh, well, we couldn't find them," and I'm like, "No shit, really?"
But yeah, like Casey said, that's the constant. But we always love it because that means there is no closure. We want closure at the end of romantic comedies,
Dramas.
dramas. We don't want closure at the end of a horror film. Closure's for pussies.
Well, then this makes me think: is there going to be a second one ever?
It doesn't say
If he-
anything about it on Wikipedia, but I really would like there to be.
Because he got away, obviously. So
The door is wide open for it, though, because what happens to the killer?
He goes home.
He goes home. Well, first we see him go into a home, and he's humming "Pop Goes the Weasel."
As he is wont to do.
He's got his hoodie. He puts the mask in a cabinet with the
With
photos
other masks.
with other masks, and then he goes into the living room of this home where there is a little girl lying on the couch watching TV, and we just know she's done. He's about to kill this little girl. She wakes up, looks at him, and what does she say?
Daddy, you're home.
Daddy, you're home.
Okay, question about that real quick. Was that just supposed to show that he's a normal person?
Just a
Not-
regular dude.
Was that the whole premise of that? I mean, I was
Just
trying to
a
understand.
regular dude moonlighting as a stabber.
Okay.
Well, he's moonlighting his ass off because he's got a whole cabinet full of masks and some other pictures too, not just the ones of her and Gavin.
Correct. Correct. But this is, it kind of goes back to the same, the same thought process as movies like Funny Games. It's never or I shouldn't say it's never, but sometimes it's not the big, ugly person with the scarred past. Sometimes it's regular Joe who has the 9 to 5 in the family.
And that's the scariest part. Killers are among us all the time.
They walk
Conceptually.
among us. Conceptually, thank you. But gosh, what an ending. I thought this was nearly a perfect ending. Because, yeah, we had the common ending with, we couldn't find the killer. But we added a little cherry on top with the killer coming home. And it's, again, looking like we're about to have some more, another killing spree starting. But the twist, boom, Daddy, you're home.
Yeah, because they could have cut it at the cabinet. They could have cut it with him putting the mask away, putting the picture strip from the photo booth in there, and they could have just ended it like that to give us the suggestion that he's been doing this a while, plans to keep going, that this is an ongoing process for him. But then when they show the little girl and it's his daughter,
The sweetest little girl.
that really puts a spin on it. That makes it creepier.
A little girl who loves him so much.
Yeah, excited to see him when he got home. Suggesting he is a good dad.
It does suggest that, and that even further makes it crazy. A really good father who's
Out here just murdering people.
just murdering people. And I don't know if it means anything, but the victim at the beginning of the movie in the credits, somewhat tall, maybe height isn't important, thin, brunette, white girl.
Oh, they all look the same.
And yet the daughter, blonde as can be. Don't know if it means anything, but they are completely opposite of his daughter. I would have wondered if there would be some kind of underlying meaning had his daughter been, a brunette. Like, what's he seeing in these women, in the same type of woman, that he has a type that he stalks and murders? I don't know. It's not something I'm looking for an answer on, but it is a pretty interesting thought in my mind. James, just give me your final thoughts on Hellfest.
You just blowed my mind, Bill.
Oh, son.
I give it a 3.
3 out of 3. That's
what?
good.
Because it was okay.
3 out of 5 or 3 out of 10?
3 out of 10.
What?
James, you are a bold-faced
Let
liar.
the kitty eat the din-din.
What?
Rick, final thoughts on Hellfest?
I ain't done yet, Bill.
Oh my
What?
god.
Sasquatches is taking over. Watching this movie. It was okay. You just have to watch something.
Would you watch
God
a part
forbid.
2?
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Casey. God forbid you watch a horror movie for a horror movie podcast.
That you are a regular creator for. Hate to inconvenience you in the He-Man specials.
Not to mention He-Man. And Terry Todd. Terry Todd's in He-Man.
Terry.
Timmy Todd, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, Tony Todd's in He-Man too.
He is.
Are you shitting me right now?
No.
Who does
Tell the damn truth.
Who does he voice on He-Man?
The guy in the underworld, the skeleton guy in the underworld.
Skeletor?
No, hell no. Skeletor's Mark Hamill.
Fun.
There's another guy. He's the
The other leader guy.
Scareglow.
king of the underworld. Don't make
Okay.
me Google it, Bill.
Scareglow is his
Scareglow.
name. It would appear.
Scareglow, that's it.
And that's Tony Todd.
Yes.
God damn. Rick, give me your
Oh.
final thoughts on...
He-Man. Damn.
All right.
Hush
anyway,
up, James. Hush up, James. Rick, give me your final thoughts on Hellfest. Almost said He-Man.
Thank you. I was pleasantly
Yeah,
surprised.
Call me He-Man.
I didn't think anything of it. Like I told you, I literally thought it was a Netflix movie that Netflix made. I had no clue, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I would probably say, honestly, man, an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good.
So you'd see a part 2.
Yeah, I wish there was a part 2 because they left it wide open.
Goddamn, Ricka.
The power.
A man after my own heart. Casey? Final girl Casey. Give me those final thoughts on Hellfest.
I really enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, I love any form of theme park situation. We had our criticisms of this movie. There are a couple points that are a little bit boring, a little bit overdone, but I thought it was super fun. It gave me Scream vibes, and Scream is one of my favorites. I had a blast watching this movie.
I'll reiterate that I had a blast watching this movie.
Shit.
And the simplicity of it is probably what I'm drawn to the most. It's not overthought. It's a very straightforward slasher film set in a perfect place. So yeah, solid 7.5 out of 10. Rick, I'm floating there with you, man. I love it. Loved Hellfest, and I was pleasantly surprised. None of us had ever seen this movie before this week, so we all got to see it together, and I'm glad we can all pretty much agree that this is a solid film. Casey, sign us off and tell us again what we're watching this week.
He-Man.
We are tragically, I apologize to all our listeners, but mostly James, not watching He-Man next week. We're watching Carrie, and I'm so fucking excited, y'all. This is one of my absolute favorites, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. Have y'all seen that He-Man meme where he's like, oh,
You say mem?
Did you say mem?
Yeah, he did.
meme?
That's not what you said, though.
What did I say?
Mem?
Mem.
Meme.
I can't right now.
Anyway,
Meme.
next week, we should be back to Monday next week, right, Rick?
I would think so, yeah. Let me check
Okay.
with the power.
So, as of right now, we're on for a Tuesday release, and we will be talking about one of my all-time favorite movies, Carrie, and I hope you guys join us because it's going to be good.
Did you tell them?
Did I tell them what?
What is going on?
Tell them what, James?
All right. Officially off the podcast.
You're not off the podcast.
Well, you said, I told you that I couldn't do it Monday.
Oh, well, we could do
And
Tuesday.
everybody
That's
else is
fine.
like, tune in Monday for another exciting adventure of the Slashers and Screamer Power
Well-
Hour.
Well, you see, that's where you get to chime in. Use your words, James. That's what I used to tell my son. Use your words instead of, well, I guess I'm off the podcast now.
Well, we were doing Monday for weeks, so I assumed we were going back, but if it's Tuesday, and that's fine.
Tell everybody what you got going on, James.
We start Pee Wee football practice Monday.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, James is ball deep in football with the little boys.
Out there
And-
being Marty
Let's not make it
Schottenheimer.
weird.
Bill,
What?
don't let me remind everybody how you told me to check their temperatures in case they have a heat illness.
I hate y'all.
And that is
nasty.
going to do it for this week on Slashers and Screamers. I am Billy Graves. So, for the Godfather of Droll James, for the Memphis Maniac Rick, and for Final Girl Casey, this was the Slashers and Screamers podcast. We are